Well, howdy, roofers, and welcome to Roofer Growth Hacks, the podcast that's dedicated to highlighting those in the roofing industry, learning how they overcame growth challenges with creative growth hacks, and connecting them with others in the roofing industry. I'm your host, Chris Hunter, founder and chief growth officer of roofingsites.com. I'm also the author of The Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers. My name is Chris Hunter, by the way, and I'm with roofingsites.com. Soon to be, we are switching over our brand right now as we speak, and I don't know if y'all can see it, but Roofer Marketing Heroes is our new brand name. And this is something that's close to our other brand, which is Marketing Heroes. It's our main brand. And so we figured, you know what, why don't, instead of roofingsites.com, what we started out as, so long ago, as a web design company for roofers, we have transformed into all sorts of other things. So we're now Roofer Marketing Heroes, right, to align that brand a lot closer. Okay, so let's jump into it. We have a problem, right, in our industry, and this is something that I face all the time. And when I talk to people all the time, this is the biggest issue that they have, is that they might have been in business 30, 40 years. I've talked to people who've been in business for 100 years. And the question that I get is that I know I'm the best roofer in this area. Why am I not being found on Google, right? Why am I not being found at all anywhere? And so what it comes down to is, and in a lot of the things that I talk about and a lot of the things that I even wrote about in my book, The Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers, is that the best roofer doesn't always win. It's the most visible one that does. Okay. And so we have to really think about that, and position ourselves into something that someone can actually find us, right? So where do you do that? Well, guess what? What we're going to talk about today, and this is what is being positioned here, is that AI is becoming the new Yellow Pages, right? When I first went into business 20 plus years ago, I was told that the Yellow Pages was it. Okay. And that's where you needed to get found. This is how you get in front of people. Right. And so as a web design company, I was like, I'm not sure about that, but I'll go ahead and pay the Yellow Pages. I think we were paying them $800 a month for a quarter page ad. Okay. And we found out over time, because of tracking and because we were really good at knowing how to track how many calls came in through that, we figured out that, guess what? We didn't get a single phone call from the Yellow Pages. Google kind of took over that spot, right? And they've been there for a really, really long time. 20 plus years, in fact, 25 years, in fact. And AI, however, and ChatGPT specifically, has really started to take that over. Now, we're going to go over a few of these, here in a second, of where does it really stand? Where does ChatGPT really stand in the whole scheme of things right now? But just know that AI is becoming the new Yellow Pages, is becoming the new Google. Okay. And so we have to pay attention to that if we want to stay in front of people. Okay. So this workshop is for you if you want more leads without paying for ads. Okay. I think that's a lot of people, right? We still have to pay for ads sometimes, but we want to ensure that we're in front of people. We're curious about AI, but you don't even know where to start. Okay. Some of y'all might be ChatGPT pros. Okay. Use it every day. Maybe you've never used it before. So this is going to kind of give you a starting point of really how to use ChatGPT really and get more leads in through that for your roofing company. All right, this workshop's for you if you want it, if you're doing good work, but you're invisible. Okay. Unfortunately, a lot of us in our markets are invisible. So we want to make sure that we're not. Okay. You want to get qualified homeowners finding you first, right? And that's kind of important, I would imagine, right? It is making sure that you're top of mind. You're the roofer in your area. Okay. So by the end of today, you're going to have a score of how you score right now. And we're about to do this. Okay. Self-assessment of how you score in the grand scheme of things with ChatGPT. You're going to get a 90-day plan at the end of this. Okay. So be sure to stick around to the end. I'm going to give you some ChatGPT prompts to actually train AI on your business. Okay. You're going to get a downloadable workbook. I like to give workbooks away because it's something actionable. Learning things and not taking action on it is just doesn't make any sense. So you're going to have a workbook to actually be able to do all of these things. And of course, we have an option at the very end to have a done for you option. Okay. Who am I? My name is Chris Hunter. I am the Chief Marketing Officer of roofingsites.com. Like I said, this is changing to Roofer Marketing Heroes. And it's going to take me a while to stop saying Chief Marketing Officer of roofingsites.com and really say Chief Marketing Officer of Roofer Marketing Heroes. Okay. I'm the author of The Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers, this book right here. It is 336 pages of the exact blueprint of what we do for our clients. Okay. We are members of the NRCA, the National Roofing Contractors Association, the RCAT, the Roofing Contractors Association of Texas, and HARCA, which is the Houston Area Roofing Contractors Association. I personally have been doing search engine optimization since 1998. Okay, that really, really, really dates me. I'm really old in this industry, and I've been doing this thing a long time. What is SEO? It's getting ranked on Google. Okay, and I started with my own website first in '98, and have been doing it for clients since really around 2005. Okay. Random fact, I love backpacking in the mountains. Here's a picture of me and my boys. We were at Philmont Scout Ranch. This is actually from a couple of years ago. And we just love going backpacking. In fact, my oldest son, the one on the far left, is actually coming back from a trip to Colorado. He was hiking on the Colorado Trail, segment 22, and he attempted to get to 23, but there was too much snow, so he had to turn back. He hiked Mount Wheeler in New Mexico yesterday and is on his way back. So I passed on this love to my boys, both of which, well, one is as an Eagle Scout. The other one is really, really, really close to finishing up his Eagle Scout and graduating, of course, from high school pretty soon. So anyways, I am on a mission to double the size of 100 roofing companies by 2028. This is near and dear to our hearts, and it's the very mission of what we do here at Roofer Marketing Heroes. Again, it's going to take me a while to get used to saying that. All right, enough about me, though. Let's talk about the system, right? For our roofing marketing system. This is everything that I outlined in this book, okay? The first pillar, and it's made up of 4 pillars. You can see them stacked up here. The first pillar is reputation, because you cannot do anything in marketing or sales for that matter, okay, if your reputation is not good or it's non-existent. Okay. So this is your very foundation, and it's going to be a lot of what we talk about here today with ChatGPT. The next pillar is reach. This is what most people come to me about, and basically getting in front of more people today than knew about you yesterday, right? This includes things like search engine optimization, Google Maps, Google Ads, Google local service ads, Facebook ads, all of these things that get in front of people, so that you can turn them hopefully into a lead. Okay. Next is resell. This is a pillar that a lot of roofing companies completely miss. I did a workshop on this. You can look it up on YouTube. I just did a workshop on how to really make this pillar shine and work for your company. But this is, the stats with everything is that you're 8 times more likely to sell to somebody who had a positive experience with you, but yet hardly any roofer that I ever talked to ever even goes back to their database of people, their people that they've done business with before in the past. And that's what this pillar is all about. The next pillar is referral. We all build our businesses at the very beginning based off of referrals. Okay. And the problem is, though, the bigger that you scale, the harder it is to have a good referral system in place, right? And that's what this pillar is about, creating that system and having a way to get referrals in on a regular basis. I also did a workshop on this. I think this was a couple of months ago. You can, again, go look on YouTube to go watch that. I believe that was one of my most fun workshops that I've ever put on, because we outlined absolutely everything and introduced a couple of new ideas in order to get referrals in. Okay, so that's not what I'm talking about here, right? Today we are talking about AI. All right, but before we do, let's talk a little bit about Google. This is a screenshot of Stat Counter, which is a site that measures traffic, if you will, and you can tell what each of these rank as. Okay, so if we look in here, in here, Google is 90%. Okay, Bing, which is Microsoft's version, is 4%. That's actually gone up quite a bit in the past couple of years. Yandex is the Chinese. This is worldwide stats, by the way, but that's the Chinese. That and Baidu, and so those are the Chinese versions of Google, essentially. Okay, but if you notice, Google's a big dog, right? And it has been that way for a really, really long time. So when we first started doing search engine optimization for clients, we started doing it specifically for Google because Google was they were it, and they still are. And 25 years later, they are still a better search engine than anything out there. Where does AI fit into all of this? Okay, and that's really what we're going to talk about here today. If you notice, like ChatGPT is not on here. Okay, they're not a search engine. They're an AI, right? They're an LLM, a large language model. Okay, someone that you can talk back and forth with, you can get ideas from, and so forth. And if you've been using ChatGPT for the past couple of years, you understand what it is and what it does and what the power is of it. But it's not really a search engine. Okay. Now, when we look at AI and we look at this same type of behavior here, is that ChatGPT is 81.37%. Again, this was a screenshot taken this morning of the AIs, right, in the entire world. Okay, so that's the traffic that uses ChatGPT is more than absolutely anything out there. Now, there are other AI tools out there like Perplexity, like Microsoft Copilot, like Google's Gemini, like Claude. I used Claude quite a bit. DeepSeek is the Chinese version, right, of these chat bots, essentially. Okay. ChatGPT is the big dog, though, right? And so I'm a huge proponent of Pareto's law, right? The 80-20 rule, and which states basically that 20% is going to produce 80% of the results. So 20% of the inputs are going to produce 80% of the results. Well, that's what ChatGPT is here, and that's what Google has been for the past 25 years. Okay, so why not just focus on the 80% there that can produce absolutely everything, right? That we're wanting it to produce. Next, let's talk about frameworks. I'm a big proponent of frameworks. You saw my 4R framework. Well, we have a new framework here for AI. Okay, and I call it the ACC framework. The ACC stands for authority, credibility, and consistency. Okay, so what does that actually mean? Well, authority equals you teach, right? ChatGPT views authority and expertise as you educating your clients on what you do and what they need to be looking for. Okay, credibility, that equals proving it, right? Prove you know what you say that you can do. Okay. And then the last part, consistency, is that equals you show up, meaning that consistency is one of the things that I see over and over and over again that us in our industry, we struggle with, right? And not marketers, right? That's what we're paid for is to be consistent and do things. But in the roofing industry, roofing companies consistently are inconsistent. Okay, if that makes any sense. All right, so let's do a quick self-assessment. All right, everybody use this QR code to pull out that $1,000 machine sitting in your pocket, or just go to roofingsites.com/ChatGPT-SEO-workbook. So I'll give you a few more seconds to hit that QR code, and then we are just going to pull open this workbook. Okay, so what you're going to see is this workbook right here, the 2025 guide. And I'm looking over here because this is my other screen where this is at. Okay. The 2025 guide to getting ChatGPT to recommend your roofing company. Scroll down, you're going to see the 4R Roofer marketing system. And then come down here a little bit further down, you're going to have a link to the workbook itself. Okay. Click on that, and that's going to pull open a Google document. It's going to ask you to copy it over to your Google Drive. Okay. Go ahead and do that. And while you're doing that, we're going to go ahead and kind of go through a little bit of what this is. All right. So scroll down and let's go to the self-assessment tab here. Okay. And I'm going to take about 5-10 minutes, and I want you to go through each of these. All right. And I'm going to give you 5 or 10 minutes to score yourself either as a 1 or a 0 for each one of these. And I'm just going to real quickly go through them. We regularly publish educational content that teaches homeowners. This is in our authority stage. Okay. Yes or no? Our website includes detailed service pages for each roofing service. Number 3, we have a storm damage or insurance education page. Number 4, our team is featured as experts, right? You have bios, you have credentials, you have certifications in your about section. Number 5, we post videos answering homeowners' questions. Okay, I almost guarantee none of y'all are doing this. Number 6, we host or record local Q&A sessions, question and answer sessions. 7, our Google business profile includes recent posts. Number 8, we've published at least one local roofing guide. Okay, this is just a simple guide to how to do roofing, and it demonstrates your expertise. Number 9, we have before and after galleries. These are pictures of your jobs. Number 10, we've been featured in community or media outlets. Number 11, we publish case studies showing results. 12, we publish technical or educational blog posts monthly. 13, we show certifications like GAF, Certainteed, whatever on your site. 14, we include homeowner FAQs on our site. And number 15, our team shares roofing education consistently on social media. Okay, everybody done with the authority section? I'm going to move down to the credibility section. All right, number 1, we have at least 50 Google reviews with a 4.8 average. Number 2, we respond to every review within 48 hours. Again, it's either a 1 or a 0. Yes is 1, no is 0. Number 3, we use video testimonials. Number 4, we use before and after photos with homeowner quotes. Number 5, we publish at least one new review every week. Number 6, we show proof of insurance and licenses clearly. Number 7, our website shows awards or certifications. Number 8, we display manufacturer partnerships or badges. Number 9, we use customer stories in marketing. Stories sell. Number 10, we feature local community involvement. Number 11, our reviews include roofing-related keywords. Number 12, we track our review request completion rate. Number 13, we ask every happy customer for a review. That's a big one. Number 14, we collect written and video case studies. Number 15, our social profiles show social proof posts weekly. Okay, I'll give you a second. All right, let's move on to our consistency check sheet. Number 1, we post weekly on Google Business. Number 2, we upload job photos weekly. Number 3, we publish educational content every week. Number 4, we request reviews from every job. 5, we follow up with every lead within 24 hours. 6, we use automation for reviews and follow-ups. 7, we review marketing metrics weekly. 8, we track leads, calls, and appointments. 9, we hold a marketing meeting weekly. Number 10, we have SOPs for marketing tasks. Those are standard operating procedures. These are documents that tell you how to do things. Number 11, we have automation for missed calls. Number 12, we have consistent posting across all social channels. 13, we review team KPIs weekly. KPIs stand for key performance indicators. Number 14, we schedule our content in advance. And 15, we never go more than 7 days without publishing something. Okay, so if you went through this, a 1 or a 0 in each one of those columns, right? Add up all of the ones in every single one of these. And let me know in the chat how you actually scored. If you scored in between 36 and 45, you're pretty much AI ready, okay? Number 26 to 35, you're on the right path, but need structure. Number 16 to 25, you're inconsistent. And 0 to 15, you're invisible. I mean, this is literally the checklist of what to do, okay? But a lot of these items should be in your marketing mix already, because this is how you rank on Google as well. Okay. And remember, Google's the big dog. These are the things that you have to do in order to rank, in order to get now recommended by ChatGPT. Arvin said 20. All right. So where does that fall? Looks like you're inconsistent, right? Need a little bit more consistency there. Okay. Probably need to do a lot of these things that are in this checklist. Okay. Now, if you're embarrassed of your score, that's okay. Right. We're going to show you how to fix a lot of those things. All right. So let's go ahead and keep going on this, just so that we don't make this a 2-hour long workshop. Okay. So step number 1 to everything here is to build authority, right? That's the first step in the ACC framework, right? I've got a quote here. If you're not teaching, you are invisible. Okay. So what does that actually mean? Well, educational content sells. And guess what? It also makes you authoritative about your services. Okay. So educational content is super, super important. Next one is FAQs, frequently asked questions. So these are things that you typically hear from homeowners. These are things that you're asked almost on a daily basis. If you post FAQs to your website, okay, make them short, make them, they don't necessarily have to be 1,000 words long or 3,000 words long. Okay. Make them short and sweet and to the point. ChatGPT really, really, really likes FAQs, by the way. Okay. At least that's what we are finding. Videos, right? Videos are king. And this is anywhere in any kind of digital marketing whatsoever. This has been, definitely for sure, pretty much ever since my lifetime, with television and so forth. Well, people watch TV now in a way different way. Videos, in my opinion, should be educational in nature. Okay. Things to look out for, basically answering all of those FAQs like we were talking about before. Galleries. These are, you have to demonstrate your authority this way by showing that you have photos of your jobs. All right. You don't have to do this, but this is a major plus if you're trying to rank on either Google or ChatGPT. Okay. Certifications. This just shows that you are certified to do the job that you're doing. Here in Texas, there's very few certifications. Well, there is not a state required certification. So RCAT, the Roofing Contractors Association of Texas, you can get a certification through them, a license through them, and be licensed and show that you actually know what you're doing, right? Versus, Joe driving down in his truck that possibly does a million other things other than roofing. Okay. Certifications in ChatGPT's eyes are very big. Okay. So the more that you can get of those, the better. Okay. So let's talk about some quick wins in this section, right? By the way, I love memes. If you haven't noticed, I love adding little memes here and there. All right. Storm damage education page, right? This is a quick, easy win that you can either write up, have ChatGPT write up, whatever, and just educate people on what they need to look for, right? When storms come through. Number 2, how to spot damage video, right? Just, it's almost the same exact idea there, how to actually do that, but you're using that $1,000 machine sitting in your pocket, right? Your Android or your iPhone. Okay. Put it to good use. Next, roof inspection landing page. Okay. This is pretty easy. This is where you gather people's contact information. This is what you want to rank on Google, but more specifically, this is where you want to have ChatGPT recommend people go to if they need a roof inspection. Okay. Typically you'd have a phone number on this page. You would have a form on this page to gather information. You might have something like Roofle, right? Which I highly recommend, on that page, to where, people can do, a self, estimate. They can get an estimate directly off of that page. Okay. Before and after gallery. This is becoming so important, in ChatGPT's eyes, because it demonstrates that you know what you're doing and you do good work. Okay. But this is also good for the homeowners to see as well. And I've been preaching this for the past 6 years, to 10 years to every single one of my roofing clients is that we need job site photos, right? And we need to add that to a before and after gallery. I like before, during, and after photos, by the way. Okay. Before the job, during the job, and after the job. Just make sure that during the job, you have people properly harnessed and, those kinds of things. You don't want OSHA to come after you on those. Homeowner FAQ page. This is also, we already talked about this. These are just frequently asked questions that you get asked all the time. But these things are real quick things that you can do today. Okay. And get up and running on your website now. Okay. So let's talk step 2, build credibility. Okay. So now that you have authority, right, then now you need to build credibility. Okay. You need to demonstrate that you know what you're doing, right? This is my face when I realize I need to question your credibility. Love that meme. Okay. Another quote: you don't deserve trust, you document it. Okay. So it's one thing to say that you know what you're doing, but it's another thing to actually demonstrate that you know what you're doing. Okay. So what does this actually look like? Reviews. Okay. You need to have in this day and age, you probably need to have at least 50 reviews, right? That are 4.8 and above. Okay. We've noticed in our research that a lot of roofers have, and I've been preaching this for a really long time. It's one of the pillars of my 4R system, right? But a lot of roofing companies have understood this principle, and now they're getting like 400 and 500 reviews a year. Okay. So if you are underneath 50 reviews, if you're underneath 100 reviews, you need to place a lot of importance on that if you're going to get ChatGPT to recommend you. Okay. Video testimonials. Again, these are important. And all you need to do is just pull out that $1,000 machine sitting in your pocket and ask for the homeowner to tell the video, right, what you did and why they chose you. Okay. Job site photos, we've talked about that. Certifications, we've talked about that, and community proof. Okay. Now, all of these things that we're talking about kind of all fit together, right? The authority along with the credibility all kind of fit together. Now, what is community proof? Community proof is essentially other websites, right, that are recommending you. Okay. Places like Better Business Bureau, like the Chamber of Commerce, those are building proof that you are part of your community, first of all, and that you do good work in your community. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about some quick wins for credibility. A lot of these are going to be the same thing, by the way. Okay. Automate your review requests. Okay. Ask for it in person. It always works better in person, but also add in automation to, for lack of a better term, bug people, right? Via SMS and email. You can do that 100% through high level. Video testimonials, right? Go get those. Just ask for it. I'm sure most homeowners would be more than willing to do a video testimonial. And if they don't understand the importance of it, that's okay. But you've got to ask. Okay. 100% satisfied photos. These are, all right. So this was actually given to me by a buddy of mine, when I was in the Air Force, working on the F-117. Buddy of mine, when he got out, he started a basement repair company, and he started doing, we were doing his marketing, but he started taking these photos of homeowners, with a yard sign essentially that said 100% satisfied, right, on it, real nice and big. It had his company name on it, his logo. It was branded towards them. It had his phone number and his website name on it also. Okay. And that worked really, really well, because then we could take those photos and share that on social media. And eventually we got to where we were putting a little bit of ad budget behind it on Facebook and Instagram, and getting him leads in just by showing that he had all of these people. And it was like a gallery. So it would go through all of these different 100% satisfied photos. I love these types of photos. Okay. Job site photos, make it a priority to do it every single one of your jobs. Okay. Chamber of Commerce. Okay. This is another good credibility quick win. If you're not a member of your local chamber of commerce, I highly recommend that you go ahead and do that, right? Here in College Station, for the Bryan College Station Chamber of Commerce, I believe it's around $300 a year, right? It's such a nominal fee to be part of the chamber, and more importantly, to get a link from their website to our website. Okay. Local links demonstrates your credibility in ChatGPT's eyes, in Google's eyes. I added this in here because I get a lot of questions of how do I ask for reviews, right? So I recommend that you have your salesperson, the main point of contact, ask for a review after the job, immediately after the job, because that homeowner is at their peak happiness moment, hopefully, right? If you've done a good job, you've protected their bushes, you've done everything that you said you were going to do, they're at their peak happiness moment. Okay. And this is the point where you would ask in person for that review. Now, you can also have someone call later, which we have a lot of clients who have a really good review system and gotten really good reviews, call after the job, right, on a regular basis until they get a review. And this can be posed as or positioned as more of a customer service call. Hey, this is Christine. I'm going to use Christine, my mom's name. Christine with ABC Roofing. Just wanted to give you a call and see how everything's going with your roof. All right. This could be done 3 months later, whatever. Okay. Just calling to see how things are going with your roof. Is everything okay? Do we need to send anybody out there to inspect it? I know that we had a storm that came through this past weekend. Would you like for us to schedule that out? Okay, great. No, everything's fine. Okay, great. Well, it's great that you said that. I noticed that you haven't given us a review yet on Google. Would you mind doing that? It really helps. Okay. And your words help other homeowners make better decisions. Okay. Something simple, keep it simple, but ask for that review and do it as part of your customer service. Okay. Jennifer says, tip that helped us. We have keychains we made with the QR code straight onto the Google review page. Yep. So our team can ask on site and they can scan immediately. Another tip, and this is what we do for our clients, is that we give them a lock screen that is branded with them. I don't have it on my phone here, but with a QR code on the phone. Right. Same exact idea, cheaper because you can just build that in Canva and have them put it onto their phones. Okay. Which they already have, I'm sure. So absolutely. QR codes definitely helped in the process, but you've got to ask in person. Okay. Okay. Does this make sense? It's just a quick and easy review script, something that you can ask in person. And most of the time when you're asking, okay, and I've only learned this, is that when you ask, hey, would you mind leaving us a review? It's really important for us as a small business. Go silent for 3 to 5 seconds. You don't know how uncomfortable that makes people feel. Okay. So most of the time they're going to say, oh, you mean right now? And then you're going to smile and say, yes, please. Would you mind? Here's the QR code. But it's really hard for us as humans to do that, right? But it's just a quick little tip there. All right, next, build consistency, right? This is step number 3. Consistency in everything in marketing is the key, because once you do something, you can say that you're going to do something once, but if you're not consistent with it, it's just going to fall through the cracks and it's just not going to work. Okay. So that's what agencies like ours do. That's where we help out the most, is we stay consistent for you. Okay. So consistency isn't motivation. This is actually a quote from one of my business coaches, right? Consistency isn't motivation. It's systems and discipline. The discipline part is equally as important as systems. Okay. You can have as many systems as you want in your company, but if you're not disciplined enough to run those systems, things are just going to fall through the cracks. Okay. All right. So what does this actually look like? Weekly posts. All right. Are you posting and that was in the questionnaire. All right. Are you posting regularly every single week? Are you getting photos every single week? And are you posting those photos every single week? Are you getting reviews every week? Okay. Are you actually doing any kind of proactive outreach in order to get reviews? Okay. Again, reviews are really the foundation. And this is the 4R, marketing system. Your reputation is the very foundation of all of your marketing, and it's more so important these days with AI. Okay. So place way more importance than you ever have on getting weekly reviews. And then last here is automation is key. Okay. Automation just helps things happen no matter what. And I call these machines in our business. These are things that happen no matter what we do. Okay. And automation is really easy to set up these days. Arvin, you said, you use high level. That's perfect. High level has a ton of, workflows built into it. After the job is completed, make sure that reviews at a minimum is being asked for. So let's talk through how does this actually work. Okay. I talked through it real quickly, but post your website, and this is every week, right? Post your website, post your social media, get reviews. Okay. Just set that up inside of a calendar system and schedule it out. And it just makes way more sense. All right. This is just another way of saying exactly what I just said, but you could do this. Let's say Monday is your website post. Wednesday could be your social post. Friday could be reviews day, right? Where you concentrate on getting reviews. Okay. This is just a sample. This is also in the workbook, by the way. Okay. So let's do a reality check now. All right. Let's stop here for a second and do a reality check. All right. I'm going to ask you, how many times did you post to your website last month? How many job site photos did you get last month? How many reviews did you get last month? Do you have SOPs, standard operating procedures, for each of these items? And who's in charge of it? Who does it in your organization? If it's you, this is an easy thing to add in there. If it's somebody else, make sure you do have an SOP and that you train them how to do these, and you, more importantly, hold them accountable to doing each of these items. Okay. All right. So let's talk through step 4. How do we actually do this? Okay. And it's to create the automations and assignments. Okay. 90-day ACC plan builder. This is in your workbook here, but we're going to quickly go through it. Days 1 through 30, right? This is, let's install these systems, right? Let's set up a review automation. Let's set up a calendar, a content calendar, and get into a weekly rhythm with those 3 items that I mentioned before. Okay. Repeatable visibility habits are installed. That's what is in the win column here. All right. Days 31 through 60. Let's build that proof. Let's collect reviews, collect testimonials, collect some case studies, right? Case studies are a fancy way of saying job site photos. Okay. But when you build out something like this, let's actually put a little bit of a story behind it for social media, for your website. Okay. Days 61 through 90, let's show authority. Okay. And publish educational videos and local guides. What are local guides? Again, I talked about that earlier. That's really easy to get ChatGPT these days to write these things. A local guide is essentially just a white paper, a PDF, something that is going to demonstrate that you understand what you're doing. So this might be a local guide for how to inspect your roof, right? You don't want homeowners up there. So maybe a local guide to storm damage, right? And what to look for. Okay. So these types of things can be written by ChatGPT. Highly, highly recommend them. Again, but ChatGPT will take this and go, oh, this company over here has all of this stuff. These companies over here don't. So I'm going to recommend this company over here. Okay. Do stuff what other people are not doing. Okay. So let's talk through this checklist a little bit. Here's a milestone roadmap, all right, that we built out. Install your visibility systems. The objective there is to build consistent structure. So the tasks that go along with that are review automation, your content schedule, and photo workflow. Essentially the stuff that we talked about earlier. Okay. Step number 2, publish authority assets. Prove your expertise publicly is the objective here. And what you actually do is add an FAQ page, add a case study, add educational posts. Okay. Number 3, build your reputation. All right. Collect and publish proof. So get 20 reviews. Okay. This might take you a couple of months, might take you 3 months, 6 months to get those 20 reviews, but make sure that you're pushing and asking after every single one of those jobs. Okay. Get a vet video testimonial, right? Get some community proof, i.e., make sure that you're listed on the Better Business Bureau. Make sure you're listed on Chamber of Commerce. Make sure you're listed on the local Home Builders Association. Okay. Make sure that you're listed on the NRCA if you're an NRCA member, which I recommend, or make sure that you're listed on the RCAT if you're in Texas website. There's all sorts of different associations. These all provide credibility to you. Okay. Number 4, train the machine, make AI aware that you even exist. Okay. I've got a prompt at the end of the workbook in order to do this, that will walk you through exactly how to train, quote unquote, the AI on your business. Okay. And number 5, maintain the lead, maintain the consistency with a weekly scorecard and automation checks. Okay. Meaning that you're checking on your automations, making sure they're still working. Okay. Next step here, and I'm saying one, I'm seeing all the ones, by the way. Next step here is track it or trash it. I say this on a lot of things. Okay. And then this is Andy from Parks and Rec. I don't understand my KPI. And at this point, I'm too afraid to ask. So let me see. All right. So this is a quote here from my business coach, and he says it all the time, and it makes sense. What gets measured improves. Okay. KPIs and scorecards are there for a reason inside of most business frameworks. Okay. Like Entrepreneurial Operating System, EOS, like in Traction, like in several other, everything has a score. Everything should have a score. You should be keeping score. Okay. And that's what a KPI is, a key performance indicator. Okay. So what should you be measuring? Well, your reviews, how many reviews that you get on a weekly basis, how many job photos that you get on a weekly basis that you and your team get, by the way, how many posts that you're posting to both the website as well as social media. How many local links are you trying to get, right? The more local links, the better. The more proof that you're getting links from other directories, places in your community, okay, that are linking back to your website matter. Okay. The more that you get of those, the better. And of course, rankings. We want to make sure that we're tracking our rankings here. Okay. So these are some sample KPIs, Google reviews, right? Who does it? All right. So you've got your metric, you've got who does it, what the target is, and what is actually happening. Okay. And we track all of our stuff. Rochelle will tell you we track everything in our business every single week. Okay. So how did you get at least 5 Google reviews this past week? Okay. Did you get at least or do one Google post, your Google business profile in this past week? Did you get at least 5 job photos? Okay. Because and the other reason for job photos is that you're demonstrating that you're in your community, but you're also able to, and this is what we love about them, you're able to use them inside of all of your marketing assets. Okay. All of your marketing. So your blogs, your social posts, all of those things, you can use your job site photos inside of those. Okay. Educational videos. I'm going to get one of those a week. Case studies, 1 per month. Okay. And a case study might be something bigger. Let's say that, I'm here in College Station, and let's say my roofing company got the bid in order to do Texas A&M University's roof, right? That would be a big one to get. That would be a big case study to put in there on how we did that, okay? And why we were chosen and all that kind of stuff. All right. So does this make sense? These KPIs, this isn't set in stone, mind you. Okay. You can have other KPIs that you have in your organization. I highly recommend every single person has at least 3 to 5 numbers, or at least one number, right? Something that they're in charge of and that you're tracking every single week. Okay. So for sales, that might be, how many appointments, how many estimates, how many closes do they get? Okay. For marketing, obviously, is these things, but also, how many posts did you post to the website? How many, and those types of things so that you can start tracking everything that you do in your business. Okay. All right. We're going to end here with tips and tricks. We're getting real close to the end here, right? Start with one pillar. What is your weakest? When you did your self-assessment, which pillar out of the ACC framework was your weakest? Was it consistency, right? Was it authority? So choose one of those and make sure that just start with that one. Okay. Automate everything that you can. If something can be automated, I would highly recommend that you do it, right? But don't count on just the automations in the case of like reviews and so forth. Let's make sure that you're actually asking in person and that your salespeople aren't just doing the job and leaving and never coming back again. Okay. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid, right? Don't overcomplicate things. Keep it simple. Track your metrics weekly, also quarterly and yearly. Okay. Make sure that you're fine tuning your systems at least on a quarterly or yearly basis. Go back. Is this working or not working? If it's not working, then ask the question, how can we fix this? Okay. That's how we as business owners get better over time. Okay. Reviews. I can't state this enough. Reviews is the key, both with Google and with ChatGPT. Okay. Reviews. Get more reviews. Place way more importance than you ever have on reviews. Okay. And additionally, and I didn't really talk about this, don't just put all of your reviews into one basket. Okay. Meaning, don't just only focus on Google Business Profile, focus on other places that we might or might not like, right? Like Yelp. Okay. But there's other places that we can get reviews from. Look at those and try to get reviews there too as well. Okay. Assign an owner, meaning assign someone to do these tasks. Okay. Make it their responsibility. And I know business owners, we get busy. We get really, really busy, and it is hard to stay consistent with everything that we're doing. So I highly, highly recommend that you put someone in charge of that, of all of this. And of course, do great work. I mean, come on, we should all be doing great work. And that's just kind of the foundational piece of absolutely everything that we do. Right. But I just have to put that in there on pretty much any tips and tricks. You want to make sure that you're doing great work very first. All right. And then, I already said this, put someone in charge of this whole thing. I guess I added that twice because it's that important. Okay. Next, and I said this earlier, and I say this in every single one of my workshops, do what everyone else is not doing. Okay. That's what makes you stand out. All right. Hopefully you've gotten something from this. If you don't take anything at all away from anything that I talk about, and I talk about a lot of stuff a lot of times, do what everyone else isn't doing, because that's what makes you stand out. And I guarantee hardly any roofing companies are doing any of this right here. So ChatGPT, this is a very early technology, but it is the biggest technology shift in our lifetime. And if we're not paying attention to it, we're going to get left in the dust. Okay. Make sure that you're doing at least these things that I've outlined here today, and download that work should be workbook, not worksbook, right? I misspelled that. Sorry about that. But download the workbook. It's right here. I'll leave the QR code up here for a second or two. Again, roofingsites.com/ChatGPT SEO workbook. Rochelle just put it into the chat also. If you're listening to this on the podcast later, go to roofingsites.com/ChatGPT SEO workbook. Next, if you don't have my book in your hand, okay, I will give you a free digital copy of it. The Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers. It's 336 pages of the past 20 years of my knowledge in the marketing industry. It is the exact blueprint of what we do for our clients. If you wish to do it, it is free. Just go to go.roofingsites.com. And I will send you, just fill out the form and I'll send you a free digital copy. Be sure to look in the spam folder. Almost always it shows up there. And if not, just text us and we will send you a copy that way also. Okay. Again, that's go.roofingsites.com. Last, if you like knowing how all of this stuff works, but you'd rather have someone do that, we're here for you. We would love to help. Just go to roofingsites.com/schedule. And you'll book a time for a strategy session for us to build your marketing plan for you for 2026. We're coming into 2026. So if you don't have someone in your back pocket like us, right, we can at least give you a marketing plan on how to be the known roofer in your area. Okay. Well, appreciate y'all, and everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you guys next month where we will build out our 2026 blueprint for marketing. Okay. So that's very exciting. I'll be working for the next month on building out the worksheets and all that kind of stuff for that. So be sure to show up for our next workshop. All right. Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it. Y'all have a great weekend. Well, that's going to do it for another episode of Roofer Growth Hacks. I hope you enjoyed this episode and that you connect with me online. I'm on LinkedIn or Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, you name it. We are out there. Okay. Or you can check out our website at roofingsites.com or roofergrowthhacks.com. And while you're there, listen to other previous episodes. I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, roofingsites.com. Since 2018, roofingsites.com has helped roofers double their sales by getting their marketing right using the 4R roofing marketing system. If you're a roofing company owner wanting to grow your business, be sure to go to roofingsites.com and sign up for a roofing marketing session with us. Also, this last year, I published my book, The Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers. If you're a roofing company owner and you don't have this book in your hands, I will send you a free digital copy. Just go to go.roofingsites.com and I'll send you a free copy of my book. Well, roofers, join me next time when we connect with another great roofing entrepreneur and learn how they hack their growth. Until then, I'm Chris Hunter. Thanks and gig 'em.